We have news. We do have news, and it's to do with a left-back that we've been looking to get for a while now. Pep Chavarría is on the verge of signing with Chelsea. Only minor details remain between the clubs. The footballer is ready to travel to London. We also have Pep Chavarría will join Chelsea for £21.3 million, plus bonuses. The deal will be officially announced in the coming hours, says Matej Moreto. Goes on to say this is the most expensive sale in the history of Rayo and will become official in the next few hours. So Fabrizio with a little emoji here saying soon. Right, and it's looking like it's finally done. Now, again, I'm not going to say that, oh my God, guess what? I found out something on this. No, it's just, I found out like you guys did on Pep Chavarría, to be honest. So, yeah, it's in the bag. Yeah, we're getting Pep Chavarría. He will be signing for Chelsea. It's done. I'm surprised at the money. I'm surprised it's only 21 million. So what we initially wanted out of this is what we got. We didn't have to pay the £42 million release clause. We didn't even have to go near 30. I said yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? I said, I reckon it will go somewhere near 30. Not even that, not even 25. 21. And that got it done. Well, what was the hold up? You know, what was the hold up? Because it's no secret, well, at least now it isn't, that we were looking at Lewis Hall in the midst of all of this being too difficult to do. And then all of a sudden, we give them 21 million and they're just like, yeah, all right, we'll do it. There is one factor, though. I will say there is one factor. The one factor is that Pep Chavarría was pushing for the move. He was wanting the move from the beginning. And most recently, he's actually made it clear to his club that, yo, I'm not even going to take part in pre-season. You're going to sell me. Maybe that's what did it, maybe, but Pep Chavarría will be joining Chelsea, and yes, he is a request of Xabi Alonsjo. Now, we are breaking the mould here in terms of what we normally do, in terms of the model and things like that. Pep Chavarría is 28 years old. Yeah, he's in his prime. He hasn't played for Spain yet, which is not a great sign if you're being completely honest. When you're looking at even a Spanish selection, you know, you want to be selected. He's not had that. But, yeah, 28 years old, Rayo Vallecano. Apparently in Spain, he caught Xabi Alonso's eye. The fact that he can play left back and left wing back means that we are going to be able to utilise him in a back three or a back four, and that's going to add some versatility. That's going to be the option to go to, I think, in a back three, whereas in a back four we do have him, but we also do have Yorel Hato. Yorel Hato is not going to be able to function in a back three if we've got wing backs, unless you tuck him into left centre back, which is not going to happen because we got Levi Colwill. So, you know, we have a good option here in Pep Chavarría. It's just going to be dependent on whether he can adapt to the Prem. Can he play in the Premier League? Can he adapt to the level? Can he do really well? He's 28 years old. He's got no excuse. He's got no excuse. It's not like someone who's 21, 20, just coming to the league, is a bit immature, needs some time. No. 28, my friend. You're good to go. You're good to go. Let's hope we get a nice sort of Marcos Alonso type player at wing-back. Not just necessarily in terms of Pep Chavarría. I know we're kind of getting that in Palestra at the moment. I said this in my match review. Doesn't he remind you of Marcos Alonso, except a little quicker? Well, maybe Palestra will be a good option to have at left back and left wing back. So let's wait and see. But hopefully he's going to deliver on what Marco. Oh my God, I keep mudding Xabi Alonso. I'm really sorry, man. I'm really sorry. I keep saying Marcos Alonso. Every time I mention Marcos Alonso, that's it. It's implanted in my head to keep saying Marcos Alonso. I mean, the geezer did do well for us in the end, so I'll let myself off. But that's the latest on Pep Chavarría. Expect his signature imminently. Basically, he will be joining Chelsea Football Club. Lewis Hall will not be joining Chelsea. You can forget that now.
And this is an exclusive from Fabrizio Romano, who says here that Chelsea improved their bid for Pep Chavarría as negotiations with Rayo Vallecano are moving forward. The new proposal for the Spanish left-back wanted by Xabi Alonso. And this is an interesting one for me because, again, I haven't changed my stance on the player from what I spoke about a few weeks ago. I don't know enough about him to have a fully formed. But look, Chelsea are pushing hard for this player. They rate him. They want him. I watched a bit of Chelsea's game yesterday, and there were bits that I felt impressed with, and there were others that I was like, ooh, a lot of work is still needed by Xabi Alonso. So him bringing in the players that he needs to make his style of football work makes a hell of a lot of sense to me. I think they've made some excellent signings so far. I think Rodgers, great. Danny Welbeck from the bench, great. I don't like the Henderson signing from a player perspective, but I understand the coaching element and the dressing room element they want him for. I think Lacroix, amazing signing. I don't know much about Palestra, so again, just like Chavarría, I'm not going to sit here and wax lyrical about a player that I just don't know enough about, but I'm also not going to write them off. And that for me is the exciting part of these types of transfers. It's being sort of open-minded to what they could be, what they could bring in, what they could generate and produce. And I think that's really, really significant, but maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me that finds that to be significant in these areas. But look, Chelsea fans tuning in, how do you feel about this deal? And what are you guys hearing on the grapevine? Because looking at Chelsea's transfer news, it's sort of this week, obviously being on holiday, I just saw that the Henderson and the Welbeck deal came out of nowhere. Do you think there'll be much more now with a new striker? You could depends whether you put Rodgers in the midfield or forward categories, but a midfielder in Henderson, an attacking midfielder in Rodgers, a centre back, and what looks like to be two fullbacks. Considering it's one game a week, there could be cup runs, but no European football. Do you need more this season,